Morning, everybody. I am Alex Shiel with Rappaport, and I'm here with Zach Mote of Waters End Brewery.
Good morning. Good morning, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Zach, a lot has happened since you and I met at Mad Fox Brewery in Falls Church in the spring of 2015 to go over your business plan. Could you tell the audience a little bit about the idea behind Waters End Brewery and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, sure. And first off, sorry about the hat. After 8 weeks of no barbershop, my hair doesn't look quite as good as yours.
I'm going a little crazy myself.
But yeah, so the original idea for Waters End was a craft brewery focused exclusively on the taproom experience. So in 2012, the governor at the time signed a bill to allow breweries to sell pints on premise. Before that, it was only samples. There was no retail aspect to a brewery. They had to sell everything through distributors. When that law changed, it instantly made a brewery more profitable because they could sell their product straight to the customer on site. And that's what the customer wanted. Even before that, you'd have people going and doing brewery tours because they want to see where the beer is made. There's something really cool about the whole experience. So after that, sort of each jurisdiction, county, city started changing their rules to promote the idea of breweries coming to their area. And once Prince William County did it, I'd already started business planning. The city of, or the town of Occoquan had sort of beat Prince William County to it, so that's where I was looking first. But then Prince William County made the change. They allowed breweries in what are normally considered to be retail areas, or retail zones, and we ended up finding our spot, meeting you, finding our spot at Dillingham, and we've been brewing our beer on site and selling it over the bar for almost 4 years now.
Yeah. A lot of breweries opened up during that time frame. You guys took a different approach that really intrigued me, which was no food. A lot of beer experts, such as yourself, are really good at brewing beer. It doesn't always translate to food. Tell me about why you guys structured the brewery to really welcome guests to bring in food from other places.
Sure. So it was for a few reasons. One, as you mentioned, I'm a brewer. I'm not a cook. I'm not a chef. A restaurant is, once you add food service, it's an entirely different business. And number one, not a business that I know, so I didn't want to get into it. Number two, I didn't want to hire somebody to run it for me. But then number three, from the customer standpoint, once you offer food on site, that is how you're viewed first and foremost. A brew pub is viewed by the vast majority of customers as a restaurant first that brews their own beer. And that's not how we wanted to be perceived. We wanted to put what we're good at, brewing beer and serving beer, as the primary focus. And that meant sort of offering a different type of experience to our customers. I mean, to be able to go into Dillingham Square, go into a shop and bring your own food, I mean, that was very, very new at the time. So having a brewery in a retail space, you can bring your own food, you can buy beer at the bar, you can order delivery. It allowed us to create some synergies with the other tenants in the shopping center. We've had some really successful cross promotions, and just put what we're good at front and center, and not water it down with something that we're not good at.
Yeah, absolutely. I still to this day think you had one of the most impressive business plans I've ever reviewed, and that was one of the things that really stuck out to me.
Cool.
All right, so now you've been open for a few years. We're fast forwarding to March of 2020. The governor of Virginia makes the announcement that in-house dining and large gatherings, specifically of 10 or more, are now prohibited for this foreseeable future. What's going through your mind as you hear that news?
Right. So that moment is burned in my mind. So it was the 17th, and I remember that because it was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, yeah.
This is supposed to be one of our biggest days of the entire year. It's always been a huge day for us. I brew the Irish Red Ale every year. It's a huge hit. We get a big crowd, and at 11 a.m., the governor goes on and tells people not to go out, and he tells he tells everybody to close their tap rooms, close their restaurants. This is an hour before we're supposed to open. Luckily, we were prepared. So the prior week, you'd started seeing closures sort of. They started in New York and just moved south, state by state. And then, when Maryland closed bars and restaurants and DC closed bars and restaurants, the weekend before the 17th, I believe the 17th was a Tuesday. I was in my office just trying to figure out, hey, this is coming. What are we going to do? And we had the idea of the drive-thru, and which is sort of came naturally to us because we've got SunTrust right next to us that has their drive-thru, and they've got the lanes. And so on Monday, I actually expected the decision to happen on Monday. So on Monday, I went in before we opened and got everybody together and said, hey, this is what we're going to do when the governor makes us close the tap room. Because at that point, it really was just a matter of when, not if. And so we talked through the whole process. There was some discussion back and forth of, online ordering or walking, having people park and we'll walk it out to their cars. And, I insisted it's got to be a drive-through because we all know what a drive-through is. We know how it works. You say drive-through and you immediately intuitively know what to do. McDonald's and Chick-fil-A are successful with drive-thrus for a reason. I mean, it's a very clear and efficient way to serve a customer. So I said, we need to figure out how to make a drive-through work. Then we set it up. Before we opened on Monday, we actually set it up. We walked through it. We took pictures and videos, and fully expecting at some point on Monday to be closed. It didn't happen. So we put everything back in. We had a normal taproom day on Monday. On Tuesday, we're waiting. We hear the governor's going to make an announcement at 11. He makes it. We hear that. Now, it was a little confused at first because he implied that we should close instead of ordering us to close. But
unlike
it was muddled
Maryland
enough.
and DC.
Right. But it was muddled enough, the message, that it was very easily interpreted as, well, everybody's going to be closed. So from the customer point of view, I didn't want them to wonder, hey, are they going to be open? What's the experience we're going to have? So we made the decision right then. All right, let's get the drive-thru set up. Let's post the pictures and videos we've already taken. We put money behind ads on Facebook to get the message out as quickly as we could. And we actually ended up having a decent sales day, despite getting our tap room closed less than an hour before we opened.
Yeah, the infamous first day of the brew-thru.
That's right. Yeah.
Each day, new information comes out. Day to day, the most common. It's a fluid situation. Where do you, as a brewery owner, see COVID-19 and this current crisis affecting how your operations are run for the foreseeable future? And we're talking even a year plus out.
Right. So this is that is the question that all business owners are trying to answer right now, and it's especially relevant to us because we're expanding to a new location. And as we've had discussions in just recent days of this is now starting to impact how we're going to design our next location. And before the pandemic hit, we were redesigning our new space to maximize our occupancy, to maximize bar traffic, to maximize the amount of beer that we could get into pint glasses to sell over the bar. Because that's always been our business model. That's what works for us. That's what we're good at. And it just became increasingly more absurd to me to keep planning like that when we've got all these unknowns. And it helps me to sort of list the unknowns in order. Number one, we don't know when the government is going to allow us to open our tap room again. Number two, when they do allow us to open the tap room, we don't know to what extent we're going to be allowed to open it.
Specifically,
Three,
occupancy.
exactly, right. Is it full occupancy? Is it half occupancy? Is it 25% occupancy, which we're seeing in some places? And then at 25% occupancy, doesn't even make sense for us to open the tap room. And then once customers are allowed to go to the tap room, are they going to feel comfortable going to the tap room? So, and then how comfortable, right? Are they going to, be willing to come inside now to buy beer to go? Are they going to be willing to come sit at the bar? Are they going to be willing to sit at a table away from the bar? So there's the whole customer behavior question. Then on top of that, what are the chances that a second wave comes and restrictions are locked down again?
Mm-hmm.
So the way I'm trying to approach it in terms of planning ahead is to build in as much flexibility to our business plan as possible. So for We Brew 2, our second location, Potomac Festival, we're now designing it so that we're going to be optimizing to-go sales while still giving us flexibility to put people in seats, put people at the bar in the medium or long term. But we know, we hope to be open in the next couple of months. We're not going to be packing that tap room like we'd envisioned. So we need to get creative in how we serve our customers a really good to-go product and see if we can enhance that experience in some way. And that's where we need to start getting creative and allowing the customer to take the taproom experience home. And that's sort of where our focus is right now.
And while Potomac Festival doesn't have a convenient SunTrust ATM drive-through next door, you do happen to have a roll-up garage door. So adapting on the fly, perhaps opening the garage door and taking to-go orders via that so that the customer does not need to come into the store
Right.
is something option. Well,
Definitely.
Zach, I appreciate you taking the time today to speak with us. Many businesses are struggling right now, and you guys on the fly adapted and did so rather successfully in a very quickly manner. So I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. One last time, if you say the website where people can pre-order the PPP IPA and just your regular brews from the brew-thru.
Certainly. So ppebeer.com is where you can pre-order 6 packs of the charity brew. And then watersendbrewery.com or on Facebook and Instagram at watersendbrewery. You'll see our normal menu or just drive up and we'll take care of you at the drive-thru.
And while you can't get an order of 12-piece nuggets from Chick-fil-A, certainly get a darn good brew. Thanks
That's
again,
right.
Zach.
Thank you, Alex. Good to see you.
All right. You as well.